Welcome to Mock Draft Madness Day 24. We got kind of a special edition here. Me and Dobbs haven't done a You Don't Know Ball mock in a while. So this is actually going to be another 2-round mock draft. Dobbs is going to be taking odds. I'm going to be taking evens. So day 24, Mock Draft Madness, doing a mock draft every single day until the NFL draft. If you don't know ball, want to know ball, be sure to subscribe. Leave a comment. Let us know your favorite, least favorite pick, trade scenarios. I have a trade scenario that I'm going to try out tomorrow. I told the commenter I'd try it today, but I figured I'll just do that tomorrow so I can just control that. And then leave a like. But let's get right into it, Dobbs. What are you doing at number 1 for the Chicago Bears?
No explanation needed as always, bro. Caleb Williams is the first off the board, barring a felony over the next month, and he's not going to commit a felony. Caleb, you are a bear.
Yeah, so it's funny because I believe Gerard Mayo said something along the lines of Gerard Mayo says everyone knows what Chicago will do at 1, but not Washington. So very interesting here. I'm gonna obviously Caleb Williams is number 1, and then for Washington, I don't know. It's very interesting because Gerard Mayo, and I know this is the Patriots, but he also said the guaranteed way to win is to accumulate more picks. So the narrative has been that New England is probably not going to trade out, but I think with the idea that the Commanders, I think there's a building suspicion that the Commanders may take Jaden Daniels.
Oh, no,
And
it's definitely a building suspicion, bro.
so I think what is happening, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, is the Vikings want Drake May before they want JJ McCarthy, but they're not willing to give up that Godfather offer to the Patriots if it's going to be JJ McCarthy because they can just trade up to 4 or 5 and get JJ McCarthy. If they got to trade up to 3 and they're going to get Drake May, spending those 3 first-round picks, in my opinion, is way more worth it. But I don't feel like this happens until draft night because if the Commanders take Drake May, they're just going to trade with the Cardinals or the Chargers. So at number 2, I am going to go Jaden Daniels.
Okay, see, that's what I would have done too. And because honestly, I do feel like this is what we're going to see on draft night here. Like they're going to bank on that same Joe Burrow-esque, transformation to the league. They're saying, you know what, we already have solid like weapons around him, and then he's definitely less raw than Drake. I agree. I do think this is the route that we're going to see them go on draft night, especially with the new staff not taking on somebody as raw, where you're saying to yourself like he might be as polished as he's going to get. But if he's not and he still has a lot of polish left, at least he's already pretty damn polished. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you something, Dobbs. So I did something in my mock draft yesterday, and I know Mike Owenahu, right he played right tackle last year, right? Or left tackle.
So he played right tackle last year, but he's played literally all over that line. Like
So
he's like their chess piece. You just move him wherever.
so I tell me if you think this is realistic because I think in reality they have Cole Strange at left guard, and this is if they trade back with the Vikings and pick up 11 and 23. They pick up Olu at 11, and then they take JC Latham at 23. Then you have Latham, Strange, Owenahu, and Olu and you could take a wide receiver at 34, and then you're completely built up to take a quarterback next year.
No, you read my mind because I was gonna say there's no way we're staying on the clock with the Patriots right here at number 3. And yet, you're spot on. We've already kind of spoken out what the scenario we're going with here, but we know this is something like this is going to happen on draft night again. I don't know if this exact trade, but something like it. And we're gonna call him up right now because we know who it's going to be.
Okay,
We need to get
okay.
the Vikings on the clock here.
Okay, I'll be the Vikings.
So obviously more than just the pick swap.
Right.
We're gonna go the pick swap this year, the 23 this year. And I'm thinking if I'm the Patriots, I'm saying again, like we say, the compensation is always more than everyone thinks. I'm saying you got to give me that fourth rounder, or I mean that third rounder from Detroit this year. No, my apologies. I believe that's fourth
Yeah,
rounder.
it's fourth.
And then I also am gonna need that fourth rounder the year after. And
You don't think
honestly, it
it's a
might
round
take
1 next year?
no, well, man, it that no, I that is the 3 first rounders to move up. But you know what?
I mean, that
Like
is
we
the
said,
Trey Lance trade. Trey
like we
Lance
said,
trade was like a second, I think.
it's gonna cost more than people think. Let's just go with that and force it because that way, if anything, we overcompensated it. Nobody can complain in the comments that the compensation wasn't good enough.
Well, also at the same time, like PFF, I know it's not like it's not law, but it says there's at least a 16% chance this is accepted. And if you take away the round one, it's 100%. So my thing is, even if you take away the fourth rounders, it goes all the way up to 29%. Like, guys, like this is the realistic, like the quarterback class is usually not this like deep at the top. So like
No,
you're
I was
gonna
gonna
have to
say
pay. And
on
like,
potential too.
yeah,
It's like you had guys with definitely very high ceilings.
this is good, but that's the thing is like when you don't have a succession plan at quarterback and you have a really good offense, this is the window to win with a rookie quarterback.
No, and we know what the Vikings have been kind of quietly dropping hints. Ben saying that they're gonna, strike while the iron's hot. This is the iron hot. The iron's hot right now. This is the time to do it. The Jared Mayo literally said he basically came out and said in a different translation, Minnesota Vikings. I'm your guy. So here we go. We're forcing it, and we're about to put the Vikings on the clock. And to your point, Hunter, the Vikings are not going to reach on the guy that they initially I thought was going to be a Viking, at least in today's mock. Drake May, that ceiling. Kevin O'Connell in the building. There's just no question about it. We're going Drake May right here at number 3 to the Vikings. And I would say with the Sam Darnold, as opposed, because this was what I would say too, bro. With JJ, it was kind of like, I think JJ needed at least 2 years to sit, which a lot of people think is egregious. I think he's much like Jordan Love. I said this, you remember when Jordan Love came out, I said, the ceiling's so high if he just falls into that right situation. God willing for Jordan Love, it was the greatest situation he could have fallen into. Now, with JJ, I don't know what that situation looks like in this year's class. I really don't know what the best situation is because I think he's going to go higher than when that's possible. But Drake May, I think, only needs about a season to sit before
I
you got to
agree.
throw him into that fire and you have to just start testing those tools. You got to start letting him develop. So Drake May to the Vikings here is just the perfect situation for Vikings fans and for Drake May.
I agree. I think you have to let him sit for a year. And Sam Darnold is like, he's not a scrub. Like he can get you through a year and it not be horrendous. Um, Now, the thing that would be scary though is if Darnold does go down, do you get another backup in there? Or do you let May go? Because I think you have to like another guy that wouldn't be the worst signing if Darnold would go down and he's still available is Ryan Tannehill. Like Tannehill
No,
would not be a bad option.
To answer your question, I'm third stringing Drake this year, and
Yeah.
it's no disrespect. It's more just like how I feel about if you throw them into the fire, bro, and you kill their confidence.
It's
Biggest
over.
way, it's just the biggest way for it to be over. Like and that's in any endeavor in life. Like that's why you never in any profession or anything, you don't just want to throw someone in the fire, have them make a fool of themselves, because then they start overthinking things. They start not, they're not being themselves. You want him to come out and be in a position where he can be himself right away, as opposed to let me start overthinking everything and micro adjusting. And before you know it, they're not even close to the same player they were because they had made all these adjustments that ended up negating them. So yeah, I think you have to third string him this year. And that's just purely on how raw he is. But again, that ceiling is very high.
At number 4, Arizona Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. It is pretty much a lock at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. He especially with the way that we just had this mock go.
Unless the Patriots don't trade out, then I think it's 4 or 5 for the Vikings.
No, absolutely.
You have to get in front of the Giants though, because the Giants will take JJ McCarthy.
That's what I was gonna say. Like the way this draft fell, we're fine. But if it was any other way, I think we would see a trade up right here.
At pick number 5, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, and I kind of talked about this yesterday. I kind of want to get your opinion. Is I have been going tackle with them quite a bit, but someone made a good comment that yes, they want to run the ball, yes, they want to build through the trenches, but during the time at when Harbaugh was in San Francisco, he didn't take a ton of O linemen in the first round, and same thing with the Baltimore Ravens, who Horitz, I believe is how you say his name, is now the GM in Los Angeles. Like they didn't focus on a lot of first round guys. So that has led me more to believe that they kind of lean wide receiver. Obviously, it's your pick, but I just thought that was like really good insight that one of our commenters left us.
No, and it certainly was. And again, to the point of look, so we already said, I know you feel the same sentiment with Joe Alt. He's a left tackle. I'm not gonna like bring him over and force him into a situation where I'm in a position change him and potentially completely change the trajectory of his development. To me, there's no point in doing that. And then it's interesting scenario here too, because it's like, I agree. We could definitely go receiver. We also, I mean, we definitely could take Brock Bowers off the board. It's like, again, though, I don't, I don't know about how I feel about Brock Bowers right here.
I don't love him
No,
at 5.
again, there's another scenario that again, like I said, I think he's going to go earlier than people think. I'm not going to take him right here. All I'm going to say is this. If Byron Murphy comes off the board right here, I truly would not be shocked. I really wouldn't. I think that I'm sure they're looking at that Byron tape and saying, "Hold on a minute, like we can put that guy in our D line, and like, yeah, we might be reaching a little bit, but I mean, you're the Chargers, and that's a guy where again, the Chargers are trying to compete for championships. Like, I wouldn't be shocked to see them go Byron Murphy, but the way the board fell right now, again, I'm just going to go with what I do think that the Chargers would do in this situation right here. I think you're going to say to yourself, the young star SEC receiver, the only one to put up 1,000+ yards his sophomore and junior season. I think we're pretty confident he's going to come in, produce for us. Justin Herbert and him are going to absolutely cook. We need a Keenan replacement. I think we're going to make it simple. We're just going to go Malik Neighbors today. Because I was thinking too, I was looking at trade up scenarios for another team that maybe would want to come in and snag them. It's just not viable for anybody without having to trade up way more than it's worth. So yeah, we're going to go Malik right here. It also, though, if they go Rome, I think you're getting just as good of a value, but I'm going to go Malik, LSU guy myself. So
The reason I agree with kind of Malik more is it gives you a little bit of a different flavor than what you have with Quentin Johnston. Not the same, not that Rome and Johnson are the exact same, but you get a little bit of a different vibe with those two guys.
no, you definitely get a much different matchup. Yeah, like Malik is definitely a little bit of a different matchup. And again, Malik is just so polished, literally everything minus the size that it's like, we got to go Malik.
And number 6 with the New York Giants. I mean, guys, like Dobbs, you keep making my picks really easy. Like, I, for some reason, there are some Giants fans that think if JJ McCarthy is sitting there at 6, that they're not going to take him. Joe Shane and Brian Dable did not pick Daniel Jones. Like, this is not their guy. Like, if you're telling me, Dobbs, let me ask you this. If if the Giants underperform this year, if the Giants underperform this year, are they fired?
Yeah, 1,000%. Even though, again, obviously, what Dable came in, got the accolade right away, and everyone thinks the job is just safe. It's not like that in the NFL. Like we've seen, like it doesn't matter about what you did the years before; it's about what you're doing now. And that would mean that these last 2 years have been abysmal if they fail. And again, what we always talk about the direction of the team. What is the direction? Giants feel directionless. This is basically their last shot to kind of throw a shot at the basket and say, look, maybe we can hit a buzzer beater and bring back this regime and JJ can save us. To the point of two, I've been saying, bro, I'm gonna keep saying it. And this gets people really mad, but I don't care because the way I analyze it, this is how I view it. Again, he doesn't have the same size. He's 3 inches shorter. He does not have that same size. He definitely does not have the same bulk. But the way he plays, I'm sure Dable is saying to himself, I can get me some Josh Allen qualities out of this kid. Like, and I coached, it's the guy that made Josh Allen. To me, JJ going to Dable is honestly the best case scenario for JJ McCarthy, hands down, regardless of how poor that the Giants are built right now. I mean, yeah, I'm with you, bro. It's like there's no way that they don't go and hit down this scenario, regardless of value or anything else. You have got to try to take a shot on the QB.
Well, it's also like you kind of give yourself like an extra year, like to really kind of develop your own plan. Like if you don't take a quarterback here and they stink, like they're definitely going to get a new GM and a new head coach to lead the Giants forward when they draft that rookie QB next year because they're done on Daniel Jones. I don't care how much they sell it. They're done. They're done. They're done with
They're
them.
done.
So JJ McCarthy at 6. Now we have the Titans on the clock at number 7. I've been thinking tackle super heavy, but I've also been open to the idea of wide receiver here.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one.
Or
You know,
something that I haven't seen in a while, but he said he wanted to play there is Brock Bowers.
no, again, I definitely haven't seen that one in a while either. I just, in my opinion, right now, I think that the Titans would be a little insane. Just you just have to be insane to pass on Joel right here. Like
Yeah.
this, like if I'm in the draft room, I promise you, this is what I'm gonna say. Put me in the Titans draft room right now if this simulation was happening. Dude, I'm literally breaking my fist on the table for Joel. Like I'm
Yeah.
breaking my fist for him. We're taking Joel right here. Again, there's definitely good options, but this is one I'm just not going to overthink. We need our blind side, and we could potentially have an all pro blind side. Yeah, give me him.
So I agree. And I think with the reality of how the Titans have handled their rebuild, you kind of have to do everything you can to build up Levis because I we talked a little bit about this before we started recording. Like we are not fans and like Titans fans like I really hope you guys this plans out or this plays out for you guys, but I just I in that division with the Colts and the Texans and even the Jaguars to some extent in a loaded AFC, you are at a time where there's so many teams that are competing. In my opinion, it's more worth it to kind of scrap it and rebuild. Will Levis, I know you took him last year and you want to give him things to succeed, but by the time you kind of know, in my opinion, like you're going to give Levis probably 2 more years, right?
No, yeah, for sure. Again, because like that's the thing is he has nothing around him right now. Like we just got to use this time to build.
Yeah, right. And I guess my thing is like, okay, say Levis doesn't work out in 2 years. You have a new rookie quarterback. Ridley and Snead are going to be kind of gearing towards the end of their contracts. They're not younger players. Like Ridley's going to be 31, 32, or he's going to be like 30 this year, I believe. So it's just like, we've seen the Vikings try a competitive rebuild over and over again. And what has it gotten them? Nothing. And like it's all philosophy, guys. Like I'm not saying my way or our way is the right way. It's more of just like I think to do a successful full rebuild, you have to tear it down to the studs. And they just haven't done that. I just fail to see the Titans winning 9 to 10 games next year.
No,
And they
no,
won six this
100.
year.
That's no 100%. New coach. Like it's gonna be no. I think, and the way they did free agency, we didn't agree with free agency. At least taking Joe off the board right here, it's a good way to fix all that in just one move.
Yeah. At number 8 with the Atlanta Falcons, I feel like I've been very boring with the Atlanta Falcons here because it's like they have been chasing edge so much that it's like I would be very surprised if they did not take an edge rusher here, especially with Dallas Turner on the board. I think it has to be a defensive pick, right? Like there's no way they go Romo Dunze, right?
No, I think again, logically, you got to play on both sides of the ball. Defense wins championships. You're already happy with your offense if you're the Falcons. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, but it's like I don't feel bad. It's just like I know Dallas Turner or Jared Verse literally every time. But it's like
but like
what else is
sometimes
the
that's how
pick
it
gonna
has to
be?
go. No,
Yeah, what
sometimes it's how it
yeah.
has to go. Like it's the same way that when the Bears come on the clock at number one,
Yeah, that's
we
true.
don't overthink it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just how it goes.
Dallas turns to the Falcons at number 9 for the Bears. Where are you going, Dobbs?
Oh man, I get to cook because it's tough, bro. It's really tough because this is one of those ones where I'm probably gonna get Bears fans aren't gonna feel me. I
Oh
know you're not feeling
no.
me.
Yeah, I'm not
Again,
feeling you on this.
this bro, I'm telling you, this to me, and again, I'll ration my explanation for this pick in a second. You know, everybody wants to go like everyone always says, and this is the Bears fan consensus right now. They're like, let's just get another receiver. The offense is gonna be so fucking loaded. And yes, I agree. But at the same time, great QBs have showed us. Even when Mahomes came in, like yes, he had Tyreek, but like that's the thing is you already have two really good receivers, a really good tight end. Like you already have a really good group. Like it's not like the Bears are shabby in the receiving core. You don't need three world beating receivers to have a good offense. Like it's just, and if you do at the point, it's just that's already problematic. And then my thing is, you already have a great D line. You already, and that's where hear me out. You already have, let me rephrase that, a good D line. You add one more guy to that rotation or that starting just group that just absolutely just tears things apart. And you can potentially walk away with the best offensive player and best defensive player in the whole draft. And if you do, we look back on this in a few years, he is the all pro type player that I do believe he will end up being. I think you look back on this draft and you say, oh my God, we absolutely murdered it. And what I'm thinking right here is y'all are about to take my boy off the board. Byron Murphy, you're a Chicago Bear. And again, some people, I don't know how high certain people are. He's not really one of those guys that gets talked about a ton, but he's one of the alphas of this year's class to me. The more I watch him, the higher he gets on my board. I mean, this dude is potentially very special. And to be able to walk away with, again, like I said, potentially best offensive and defensive player in this year's class, I think that's the direction I would go. I'm trenches first, and it's not the offensive trenches, but I feel like you're already getting more confident in those offensive trenches. We know that yes, the Bears defensive line was picking up last year, but maybe not still all the way where you want to be. You add Byron Murphy to this line, and all of a sudden Montez is getting one-on-ones every single snap. I mean, I just feel like this is the direction I would go for the long-term result.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I personally would love to take Rome here or even Bowers just to give Caleb as many weapons as he can. But I do understand what you're saying. I would be okay. I've been slowly warming up to the idea that one of these receivers are not going to be there, and then adding like a dominant piece on defense would be the way. Now, I will say this. If for some reason Joe Alt is available at 9, I think that has to be the pick. I know Braxton Jones has been good, but having Joe Alt and Darnell Wright would be insane. Um,
Insane.
so Byron Murphy, I get it. I'm not upset. I also think an edge rusher could be good here. Jared Verse with Montez Sweat could be dope, but Byron Murphy gives that presence inside, pairing with Billings, Dexter, Pickens, and you have starting to have a really good rotation on that D line.
Last thing I wanted to say too, because this is something that I wanted to say that was interesting. And then I'll let you go on to the Jets here. But Byron Murphy's that same kind of mold where we saw, like, and you guys already did it, where I would say, like, what the Rams used to do with Aaron Donald, you can play him inside, you can play him outside. He has a very interesting frame where he can produce either spot. And y'all already were doing that with Gervon Dexter on and off last year. Again, this is a guy you can play him on the edge when you want to play him. Like he's such a versatile piece. I feel like he would just fit so well on the Bears.
At number 10 for the New York Jets, I mean, there's really a question. Romo Dunze sitting at 10, like how do you pass that up? But
Well, especially with Aaron Rodgers in the building.
I do kind of have an idea that I don't know if it'll work. But what do you think about the idea that the Bengals lost Tyler Boyd? They're going to lose T. Higgins probably soon. We give the Jets a second rounder to play with because they don't have one because of the Packers. And you give Joe Burrow another weapon outside of Jamar Chase. Like, is it that crazy?
No, not. So you're saying you're saying the phone is ringing right here?
The phone might be ringing. I don't know. See, here's my thing. I think the Jets still could realistically draft a lineman because their O line is still, you know, a little. If someone gets injured, their depth isn't there, and also like some of these guys are 1 year fixes. You can still get a lineman at 18. So
No,
like
you definitely could.
I don't think that would be the worst trade in the world, but I also now that it's very hard to think of the Jets passing up on Romo Dunze at 10.
I think, especially like we say, knowing that you have like a 2-year window
Yeah.
at tops. I mean, I do think you're going to do everything you can and this is definitely the most win now move, I would say.
So I'm going to go Romo Dunze to the New York Jets, and we're going to pair him with Garrett Wilson.
That is just disgusting.
All right, now we're on the clock with the New England Patriots who traded back. They have picks 11, 23, and 34 in this mock.
See, this is very interesting because there are definitely a lot of ways we could go with this one. Oh man, bro. Man. Well, I think though, again, this is kind of how I think the Patriots wanted things to go, right? And it's interesting though because I would normally go Talise Fuaga, but again, already got your right tackle, and I'm not going to try to bring Talise over to play left tackle. You know, with that said, I'm going to take me the guy who can play anywhere on this line, knowing that sometimes the Patriots is how they've always been. They try someone at one spot, they don't like it, we'll move you around, we'll figure out where you're going to go. I'm thinking right here at pick 11, we're going to go Troy Fautanu to the Patriots.
I like that. I've been
Because
seeing
again,
him
we
go
need
as early as
versatility.
10.
No, for sure. He's one of these guys that's been steady rising the boards. Genuinely, probably the only player besides maybe Graham Barton that you could play across the entire line. But
Yeah,
with Graham Barton, I'm much less confident in playing him
at tackle.
at tackle versus Troy. So, like, yeah, I think
Because Fautanu actually has pretty long arms, so he
no,
can play tackle.
he measured out much better than everyone expected. Yeah, no, he definitely said to everybody at the combine, like, hold on a minute, bro. Like, you got to peep these measurements. Like, yeah, y'all are sleeping a little bit. Everybody projects me straight to guard. But again, either way, I think you play him at tackle, you don't like it, you still have plenty of versatility. There's no problem taking Troy right here. And you need versatility for the Patriots. So
let me get your opinion on the Broncos, Dobbs, because I always find them incredibly hard to pick for. Like, what are you doing at 12? Like, realistically, they could trade back, and like, I don't think that's out of the question. But at the same time, it's like there's so many holes that it's like you want to take some of the best. And I've been going Brock Bowers recently because it's just BPA. And but it's almost like, is that your most position of need, like a tight end? I know a lot of people see him in the slot, and like I know Sean Payton could use him very well. And your receivers are like Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick. So I don't know. Like, what personally would you do at 12?
See, honestly, bro, I'm going to sound insane, but I think that the best case for them, especially like I've always said with the Sean Payton, like in the Sean Payton offense, is to try to trade down and get Bo Nix. But again, it's not like that's not certain. It's very hard to, pinpoint where like
You have
what
to
you
have a
said the QBs are
partner.
going to
Yeah.
go. And yeah, exactly. They have to have a partner. I don't even know, to be honest with you, bro. There are so many routes the Broncos could go that it's like I don't even know where to start with them.
Well, I had them trading back one draft and going Jackson Powers Johnson because they need a center. Like Alex Forsyth didn't play last year. He's a seventh round pick. Like, I fail to believe that he is going to be their answer at center. Um,
Yeah,
as like a
no.
starter day one. I mean, I had that, and we had a comment that was saying like they have Alex Forsyth, like both the GM and coach said like he could be a starter in this league. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna say that about their draft picks. Like, what do you mean? Like he's a seventh round pick who didn't play last year. If he was really a starter, he probably would have played at some point. Not saying over who they had, but I know
No, no.
Berry was there, but
Well, exactly though. Again, you're not going to bank on your seventh round guy usually right away. I think that there are so many directions they could go with this pick, bro. I don't even know what the best course of
see,
action is,
like
to be honest. Like they're they are in a terrible situation, to be honest.
I also like the idea of pairing like Terrion Arnold with Pat Surtain. But at the same time, like you saw what L'Jarius Sneed went for. Like people are talking about trading Surtain. Like, yeah, you may get a first, but like corners aren't valued that highly in the trade market, right?
Yeah, no, not definitely not, especially with the contracts they're getting nowadays.
Yeah, so I don't know, guys. I mean, I feel like you could go corner here. I feel like their best route is to trade down, and the best like trade down spots I'm thinking are probably the Bengals at 18 to come and get Bowers. Um, but I don't know if the Bengals are going to want to give up their second round pick. That's the thing. And that's probably what it's going to take. So I also another route I could see them going is possibly trading down with the Colts and the Colts coming up and getting Bowers. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick and pick with Bowers here. I did this yesterday, but it's just like best player available. You got to start building up your team, and he's definitely a player that Sean Payton can utilize pretty well.
No, absolutely. I think you're happy with this pick if you're the Broncos right here.
13 with the Las Vegas Raiders.
See, I got a lot of options I could go with right here, bro. I definitely have a lot of options I can go with. You
I
know,
go ahead.
just give me one, no, just give me one sec here because I'm just gonna look at one thing and I think I actually might already have my I think I might have my opinion set on this one.
I have been leaning right tackle lately with them. And if it's not right tackle, it's been cornerback.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think right now the way that you're building things, if you're the Raiders, I'm gonna surprise everyone a little bit,
Ooh.
but I'm gonna take Tyrion Arnold off the board right here, bro.
Oh, that's a great pick. I
I
love
think
Terran Arnold for the
just
Raiders.
super high pedigree, like we said, was constantly improving last year. Most important thing, the tape got better and better each week. This is a guy who's definitely very fluid in man and zone, like versatile corner. And if you're the Raiders, you need an X corner. You just got your X corner right here with Terrion Arnold, and I think you got great value. Whereas we're not going to go QB this early. Like we're just it's out of the realm with the board the way it is right now. We'd have to trade down, but I feel like you're comfortable saying we might be getting the alpha corner right here at 13.
So at number 14 for the New Orleans Saints, obviously you have Trevor Penning. Hasn't really worked out a ton on the left side.
Hasn't really worked out as being nice to him.
And I think you have to really start looking for another solution. Now you could go Olu Fashanu for left tackle. I personally think with the way Ramchek's getting a little bit older, His knee is kind of up in the air. How do you pass up Talisa Fuaga if you're the Saints at this point? Like, how do you pass him up?
Well, and also, let's say that we wanted to just play him at guard initially, then move him to like I think that there's like no losing the situation for the Saints because we need a guard or we need a tackle. Like,
I think Fuaga is the pick here. I think he offers more than what you get with Olu, and I don't think Olu is playing guard. Like you get more
no,
versatility with Fuaga.
no, for sure. I love Fuaga right here.
At number 15 with the Indianapolis Colts.
All right, bro. 15 for the Colts. Could go a few directions. I'm gonna think here for a sec.
I think they have been leaning corner because of the fact that they lost out on the L'Jarius Sneed trade. And honestly, for what the Titans got him for, your division rival, I would have paid what they paid.
No, I definitely would have too. And to that point, no, you were reading my mind. I was either thinking we were going to go, offensive weapon or a D back here. And again, I view Cooper more as a safety. And could the Colts maybe use him in that role? Sure, but I feel like you're going to be wanting that X corner more. And so, who's our X corner right here on the board? We got to take Quinyon Mitchell off the board right here, bro. After the measurables, all the stuff we've seen, we got to take our shot. Quinion's our guy. I feel like we could definitely see him going this early on draft night. And I feel like that I'm pretty happy with this value right here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could see him going before Terry and Arnold, honestly. Like I think they are kind of pick who you want, but they're both CB1. At number 16, we have the Seattle Seahawks, and they are a tough team. They definitely need interior help on the offensive line. And Jackson Powers Johnson is kind of the easy pick. I would have gone Fautanu if he's here ahead of JPJ because of the, versatility. You're not going to play Jackson Powers Johnson at tackle. But with the way that their offensive line has kind of been over the last couple of years, you get like a solution at one of the interior positions, whatever you play them, center, either guard spot. You could also go, with a defensive lineman like a Jared Verse or a Jerzon Newton. But I feel like there are more issues on offense with the interior of the O line that is more pressing. But then I guess you're not going best player available approach because who do you think is a better player in this draft, JPJ or Jared Verse?
See, that's
But
where it
but
gets tough because to
one other
honest,
thing though, they've invested a ton of draft capital in like edges in like the second round and stuff already.
yeah, I feel like to be honest, bro, I do think Jared Verse has the higher ceiling, but then at that same point, I think Jackson Powers Johnson has the higher floor. And
So
I feel like if I'm the
yeah,
Seahawks, I would go the O line route here, just because we got to figure it out for the young and whoever's going to come in. And then, you know what I mean? It's like I feel like that would kind of be like we've been saying, you got to get that O line shirt up before you figure out that QB.
right.
But this would be putting the Seahawks right down that path.
I think I'm going to go Jackson Powers Johnson. I've been leaning interior O line for them. At number 17 with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who do we
Ooh.
have them taking?
Yeah, definitely, I have options here. I have options. But I feel like, you know, we're just
I-
talking about him. It's only right. You need yourself another edge rusher. I think you're going to take your shot on Jared Verse right here.
That would be a
Because
great pick.
yeah, you need edge. We're going to take a shot on the ceiling. You could potentially now have, I mean, if Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, Jared Verse all go crazy, you have one of the best D lines in the whole league.
Well,
You got Jared
also,
Verse for 5 years.
you don't know if Josh Allen's going to be back after this year.
Well, exactly. So it's like no matter what, we need it. We need it now, and we might need it way more later. We're going to take it off the board here, take our home run swing. And again, the Jaguars one of those teams you kind of need to take a home run swing. You're competitive, but you haven't like pushed it. You haven't really pushed it. It's your shot right here to really get one of these potential blue chip prospects.
I know they have Sheldon Rankins, but I mean, the Bengals really can't lose here. They could pick Jerzon Newton or Leatu Latu. I think Newton to come in and play on the interior would be a dog. So I think I'm going to go Jerzon Newton here. There's another option. You could go like an Amarius Mims, have him develop behind Trent Brown or Orlando Brown Jr. and kind of go from there. But I think if you want more of an instant impact because the Bengals are going to be competing, you want to take a guy who can play day one, like a Jerzon Newton or Leatu Latu. I am just kind of moving more towards the interior, especially after losing DJ Reader.
No, absolutely. I love that pick right there, bro.
19 to the Los Angeles Rams. And know what I'm
All
thinking?
right.
Know what I'm thinking? Not for the Rams, but just in general. Who's going to be the guy to draft Nate Wiggins? Because he is honestly the hardest player in the first round to me to place. I have
No,
zero
he
clue where he's
is.
going to go.
Especially off of like the
The
fact
Emmanuel
it's just
Forbes year.
yeah, no, that's it really did him very bogus. Let me just give me one second here. I'm thinking, bro.
The Rams are tough because it's like they could go D line. They don't really need O line. But like their tackle situation isn't amazing, but it's not bad. They have Puka Nacua, they have Cooper Cup, they have Kyron Williams. Their offense is pretty set. You could always, I've never had them going wide receiver, but I don't think Brian Thomas Jr. would be a bad addition for them. They also have a second round pick. Defense is really kind of where they lack, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. But at the same time, you know what? We're doing it, bro. I'm taking Olu off the board right here. I'm not letting him fall anymore. Pure pass protector. We got to protect Stafford for as long as he's
I
going to
like
be
that.
here. We got to have the O-line set for even if when the youngin comes in, if Staff's not going to be there much longer. You know my philosophy. I'm pretty rigid on my trenches when I got the opportunity. I love Olu right here. I will admit I was debating heavy between him and JC Latham, but I feel like you're more confident in the ceiling of Olu versus again, JC's floor is super high, but Olu the ceiling's so high. I feel like the Rams and Sean McVay, they're gonna take a swing on Olu right here if he's sitting.
I feel like if we're the Steelers here at 20, it's going to be JC Latham. Like, based on the board, what it's showing me, you kind of want a guy that's going to be able to play now. I mean, I like the idea of Amarius Mims to them as well because they didn't play Broderick Jones right away. And if you're able to get Latham in that room and play opposite of Broderick Jones, you have a very young, promising tackle room. Amarius Mims obviously has a higher ceiling, but a lot of people have talked about JC Latham even being able to play at guard if needed. So
No, for sure.
I do think I like the idea of JC Latham to the Pittsburgh Steelers, play opposite of Broderick Jones.
I love it too, bro. I love it too. And again, like we say, floor. This is the guy where you don't have to take a risk. With Mims, you're definitely taking much more of a risk. We need someone to come in, protect Russ right away, or Jay Fields, most likely Russ.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with JC Latham right here at pick 22, bro.
21 to the Miami Dolphins. Where are we going?
Hmm. Give me a minute to think here, bro.
They got pinned because I think if Byron Murphy or Jerzon Newton is here, that's easily the pick after losing Christian Wilkins. Um, I know the Dolphins are fucking crazy, so I doubt it, but I would not 100% rule out Xavier Worthy,
I wouldn't either, but I think that
especially because Tyreek is having more issues and getting older and expensive. He's always
though
been
that's
expensive,
true.
but
I feel like though the way the board is set, you know, if you don't do this, two is just going to be getting killed, and he's not going to have the time to get the
no.
ball to anybody. I think I'm really confident saying that the way the board fell, Graham Barton is the best
Yeah.
selection available right here, and we just have to take him off the board. I
It's
think
very
we're
simple. Yeah.
we're playing it safe. We're playing it safe.
You have a guy that can play all five positions on the O line. Obviously, Fautanu probably does it a little bit better, but Graham Barton, he's going to be an interior guy. He played tackle in college. Not a bad pick.
No, not a bad pick at all.
This one is a very boring one for the Eagles as well because it's like Cooper DeJean is the very easy pick here if he's on the board. Someone that can play safety, he can play corner, whatever you want him to do. And it's just like, yeah, you could use wide receiver, but you have two second round picks. You can go get one there. So, and that's probably more the range. Like they have AJ Brown, they have Devonta Smith. Like they don't need that alpha one guy right now. So Cooper DeJean does a lot for their secondary, and that's just a very simple pick for them.
No, this might be the easiest pick of the whole draft, to be honest, bro.
Or number one or 123 and 4.
Yeah, no lie. Yeah, I think those really were the ones.
All
Okay.
right,
Well, you mean
20.
22? Because I got 23 right
That's what I
here.
meant. That's what I meant. 23 for the Patriots. They took Troy Fautanu earlier. So what are we doing?
Man, oh man.
They're in prime spot for a wide receiver here, as well as they could. There's so much they could do. Their team needs so much on offense.
There's
even
literally
certain
so
places on
much they can
defense.
do.
And it's just like I'm very interested to see how the wide receivers after the top three come off the board.
See, hold on. I'm cooking here right now, bro. I'm really thinking of what the best scenario is here because there are, like I said, there are so many ways they could go, but I really want to I think I want to try to put together really what the best, like the best situation here for the Patriots. Let me just really think.
Because in this sense, you also have pick 34. So if they're a team that's interested on Bo Nix,
You know what we're
it,
doing right here, bro? I'm gonna have the Patriots take a home run shot.
okay.
Because again, like we say, like you're in that situation where you are so far for competing. You might as well just take a shot on a guy who has such a high ceiling, but at the same time, also I think a very high floor. So he's older, the injury history. But if he can come in and match that tape,
Oh,
if he can come in and match that tape, I mean, you're getting an instant like very productive player. I see, you know what? We're the Patriots right here. We need to vastly improve that D line. We desperately need another edge rusher, rotating with Josh, if not taking Josh's spot. I'm taking Latu off the board right here, bro.
not a bad pick, especially because Josh only signed like a 1 year deal with them. They're definitely going to need like a longer term option. And if the medicals don't scare him away, you without the medicals, Latu could be edge one in this draft. I know he's a little bit older, but if you get one of the most versatile, like higher floor guys on the offensive line, and then arguably one of the best edges in the draft in round one, that's a big win, especially coming away with the haul that you did.
Huge win.
24 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh wee.
I usually take um the interior guy here like a Graham Barton, but with the way that they're not on the board here, um I think a Marius Mims could be a good addition for them. Definitely because obviously they lost Tyron Smith. You could have Tyler Smith pop out. He's kind of been like that guy, like a Michael Wenahu, where he's just kind of been able to play all positions. But the Cowboys love to take home run shots.
Oh yeah, they're the home run kings.
And like Amarius Mims could be that guy for them. I also do think they eventually do need to draft a receiver. And we've seen the Cowboys be that team that they'll just take who they want. Like they just want their guy. So I'm kind of and they could also use corner. Like Stephon Gilmore is getting a little bit older and I don't know. You have Trayvon Diggs, you have Deron Bland. So I guess it's not the most pressing need that you'll take in the first round. I feel like
Yeah,
O
I mean,
line is really the weakness on their team.
no, and they've showed us, like I always say, the Cowboys have no problem taking just the athletic freaks and saying that they're gonna just let them develop because they are very confident this O line coach is gonna do so. Like
So give me a Marius Mims to the Cowboys at 24. Number 25 for the Green Bay Packers.
I take back what I said because all of a sudden, like again, well, let me check one thing before I say this because let me not jump the gun too much here.
Are you thinking offense or defense?
No, yeah, you know what? We're just doing it. We're doing it. I'm gonna. This is where again, some people might say that this is not the most valuable pick. I don't care. I think the way the Packers are trying to build, I love this pick. Tyler Nubin, you're playing strong safety over here in Green Bay. We instantly bolstered our safety unit to having potentially two. I mean, just of the best safeties potentially. If Tyler Nubin come and develop how I think he's going to develop, have a Kyle Hamilton-esque development. I mean, all of a sudden, this Packers defense is just absolutely terrifying. I love Tyler Nubin to the Packers. I have loved it. I loved it way more before Xavier McKinney, but even afterwards, I still completely see the value, and I'm not switching up. Tyler Nubin, you are a Packer.
Well, the other thing too is like the Packers have two second round picks. So they can even further bolster their corner room with a guy, at 41, I believe, and 58, I believe. So now we're on the clock with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are in a very interesting spot here because you could take Zach Frazier to replace Ryan Jensen. Do you want to do that at 26? I don't know. He is more of a true center prospect. Carlton Davis is now on the Lions, so you do need some help in the cornerback room. You have to replace edge. Like there's so much that the Bucks kind of need here, but like also like not super desperate, if you get what I'm saying. So I
No, no,
think
definitely not.
a reality for the Bucks, especially to replace an edge rusher, I think if you give Chop Robinson to Todd Bowles, he can start to cook a little bit. So I'm gonna go Chop
Yo.
Robinson, but also I also like the idea of Darius Robinson, a guy that can play on the interior and the edge.
All right, so you're rocking with the Robinson boys at pick 26,
I
but you're going
am. So
Chop.
I'm gonna go Chop.
I love that pick though, bro. That pick's a ton of fun, and I think this is sneaky. Like maybe something we really could see on draft night. You snuck one in here, but I love this one.
I think Chop is going to be a first rounder though because of his explosive like first step.
And you remember, like, bro, early in the process when I was watching this, and again, this I'm talking like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. But when I was first watching that Chop tape, I don't remember if it was this chat or my other like another group chat, but I know in one of the group chats I talk football, I know I sent Chop and I was like, dude, this guy, it could be like a top 15 pick this year. Obviously, as you know, there was more sample size. He wasn't that highly touted, but I would not mind seeing Chop go in the first round at all.
Mm-mm. 27 to the Arizona Cardinals. We had them taking Marvin Harrison Jr. earlier.
Okay.
The best thing about picking for the Arizona Cardinals and why I think it would be very beneficial for them to trade back with the Vikings is you can really pick anywhere outside of tackle. Like you can pick any position outside of tackle and you're good.
You know, you said you weren't feeling it with the Bucks, maybe a little early. You know what? I'm the Cardinals. I'm comfortable maybe reaching a little bit. We're getting
Also, I
instant
will say
value.
this. The Cardinals do pick at 35.
No, exactly. And that's what I say. Like and I think that potentially, there would be just maybe the slightest chance he gets taken off the board before this.
Right.
We're gonna take him right here and be comfortable with it. Actually, let me think for a
That's
second.
what
Oh, this
really
is
will get
tough.
you in the two rounds is the teams that pick early in the second. It's kind of like, oh, well, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like we could get them here. I mean, obviously that's like the whole appeal of the draft is making sure your guy will be there when you pick, but it makes it a little bit tougher when you do these two rounds.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take my first initial guy that they really want. We're gonna take Zach Frazier off the board right here.
Okay, I like that.
Because I do think there's a slim chance he could get taken in between where our this pick and our next Cardinal pick. We need it. We need him so bad. We need a starting center. We got him. We're comfortable keeping him in his natural position. Happy with
At
that one.
number 28 to the Buffalo Bills, I just think like with Brian Thomas Jr. on the board, like how do you pass that guy up and not pair him with Stephon Diggs? Like you
But hopefully pair him with Stephon Diggs if he wants to get over his
hopefully
antics.
if well, that's even more of a reason you need a wide receiver
No,
then.
exactly.
So I'm gonna go Brian Thomas Jr. to the Bills. There's really not much explanation needed. I think that's what they're gonna be targeting, and I wouldn't be surprised if they try to trade up and get a guy.
No, I love it. And so this one, so we got the Lions here, and tough for me, bro. Tough because the way the board fell, I don't really know what direction I want to go, but I'm gonna think here for a sec.
Yeah, the issue with the Lions is they really need cornerback help now because of the Cam Sutton issue. Um, and they have been kind of weak at corner. But a big issue with the Lions is obviously their pass rush is going to be much better, but they still need, in my opinion, more help on the line. And I think we both are in the same boat where it's like, if you don't have a pass rush, it doesn't really matter how good your secondary is.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
I think it'll be
You
better,
know,
much better this year with their additions, though,
kind of want to shock everyone here, but I
I
feel
mean,
like
why
it's just too
not?
early to take him. But you know what? No,
Because
it's
they don't
not.
pick
Because
till 61. So it's like they're not going to get their guy.
this is a Dan Campbell pick. This is a grit pick. This one of these guys I said he's one of my favorite players in the whole class. Where you don't know, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't
Grit.
know how to feel about the ceiling of him, but I know this again. Damn good football player. Super confident that he's top 40, top 35 in this class. And more than anything, he is going to play for a long time. The mold, when you watch him play, he is very, very pro ready. Just a fucking football player, man. He's just one of those guys, you know? Just some guys are just football players, right? You know, fits so well in this Lions defense is Mike Sammer still from Michigan. And
Okay.
if you need any question about, why is this the pick right here, just go back and watch the college football playoffs. You'll see all the tape you need to see in just those two games alone.
I've
Grit.
I've actually seen this pick before in mocks because
I actually so I haven't because I love it, but I'm glad that other people are thinking the same as me.
it's because he's a Michigan guy too. Like you gotta think like He's already in Michigan, and he is that football player. So,
Bro, grit, just grit. I think that's what they're gonna. It was between him and Darius Robinson. I'll spoil it. That's who I was really kind of narrowing down to.
all right, at number 32, the Baltimore Ravens. This is an interesting pick for them because they desperately need O-line play. And I have had them going um Jordan Morgan quite a few times because they've had private workouts with him. You know, they really do need a tackle outside of Ronnie Staley. The only other kind of starter that they have from last year is Tyler Lindenbaum. So they have three offensive positions that they need to fill, and I think they're going to address it heavily in the draft. If they still have Morgan Moses, I can see them taking a guy like a Tyler Guyton to let him develop. But with going into this year with higher expectations, I don't think you can afford a risk with a guy like that. So I just don't see how in this position you go anywhere outside of offensive line.
Yeah, no, the Ravens are certainly in kind of an interesting situation for you here, bro.
So I think I'm just gonna go Jordan Morgan and call it a day. It's boring, but it
No, I
just
like it though, and I think that this is something we very likely could see on draft night.
31 with the San Francisco 49ers.
So this is one where like I really have to think about this one because I think what you're saying to yourself if you're the Niners probably is okay, look, Ayuk, let's just say that Ayuk's not a Niner anymore. I mean, the cards are kind of on the table that they don't want to pay that contract. And whether it's this year or next year, Ayuk probably will not be a 49er after, if at most this year. So it's like all of a sudden, receivers kind of on the table at this pick. But at that same stretch of time, it's like Trent's getting so much older and you have a chance to
And
put Tyler Guyton.
McKivitz is only there for another year.
No, exactly. And I think his price could go up if he has another good season where the Niners are already in tough cap situation. That is something we also have to monitor. Are you even going to be able to pay him? Are they going to pay him? It's just when you have a chance to put Tyler Guyton behind Trent, that is really enticing. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. But at the same time, there's also so many receivers you could instantly plug in and have so much faith that they could kind of not take Ayuk's spot, but like good blockers that can produce for you and have very high ceilings. Uh, I'm taking Adonai Mitchell off the board right here, and I'm not thinking twice about it. I'm
Oh,
shocking everybody.
that's
I fucking love it though.
crazy.
We're getting
I
our
don't hate
guy,
it.
big body. He's going to come in and block for us, and we're trading Ayuk. That's the vision. If Ayuk doesn't get traded, I'm a jackass. But you know what? I'm on the assumption Ayuk's going to get traded, and I'm banking on it.
You just fucked the Panthers and the Pats.
It's
Um,
crazy.
32 with the Chiefs. So I really would like a guy like a Tyler Guyton here. And I guess my issue with that is they kind of need a tackle now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
So
you can't. I don't think you cannot. Let me be clear, bro. You cannot put Guyton around Mahomes this year. I think Mahomes would catch a charge against Guyton if you put him out there this year to fly.
and the next tackle you got is like Kingsley Suamatia. But like I don't know if you I mean at this point if you're the Chiefs because your next pick is 64, you're going to have to reach on a guy.
No, and because I want to point out
But
something to you too,
go
real
ahead.
quick, bro. Because this is it's good information. I didn't even I did not know this till just this second, which is why I wanted to drop it on us. Did you know Jawan Taylor on PFF was graded 72 out of 81 tackles last year?
Yeah,
So I
he
think
didn't
all of
play
a
good until
sudden you're
later.
you're looking at that contract and you're saying to yourself, you're the Chiefs. How quickly, how many more years do we have to hold
Yeah,
on to him
yeah.
before we could potentially cut him? So that's just another thing to monitor too, there, bro. Like tackles definitely something they're going to be looking at because you got Wanya Morris and Jawan Taylor's a two starter. Like it's just not to interrupt. I'm sorry, bro. It's just
No, you're
interesting because
good.
I did not think it was that low.
And their interior O-line depth is kind of weak right now. So but also they need corner. Like outside of Trent McDuffie, it's
Now,
rough. It's rough. And like Nate Wiggins is right there. Like out of value,
and for the type of scheme that they play, I feel like Nate just fits very well into this Chiefs scheme. To be completely honest, just where you can play rangy.
Nate Wiggins is the pick.
I think with just the zone blitz spags, Nate Wiggins is just I do think he fits this scheme so perfectly.
33 for the Carolina Panthers.
When I tell you I literally am not thinking about it, I'm not. We're taking Lad McConkey off the board, and that is exactly what Bryce Young needs.
Two small players.
But I
Third,
do sure-handed guy, great route runner. He's going to be able to get in any type of short situation. He's going to give Bryce a safety blanket. I think that's exactly what you need. He's like the young Adam Thielen. Like we said, he has the connection with Adam Thielen, but it's like, what's it worth at this point? This is
Adam,
like the Adam Thielen connection that actually be worth a damn long term.
that's fair. 34 with the Pats. We had them taking Leatu, Latu, and Choi Fautanu. So I still think obviously they need offensive players. Like they need players. Here's my thing. I am very, very high on Jermaine Burton.
See,
But the
no, bro,
but
me and you
I
both, me and you both, zero, look, 0% drop rate.
is you have to go to a place that is going to be able to kind of cultivate, mold him into a pro. Like the dude is a little, he's got to screw loose. And he's good. He's very, very good. And in my opinion, he'd probably be wide receiver 4 if he did not have like the behavioral issues. He sounds like a perfect Steelers player, honestly. But I don't know if the Patriots are the team for him at this point.
Well, especially with the brand new coaching staff, it makes it quite interesting.
I don't think that's what they want, year one. And they, I don't know, like Kool-Aid McKinstry is sitting right here for them. But the issue,
That's such a Patriots player.
it is, and I guess my thing is also though, like, what do you, like, when do you start building the offense?
Well, yeah, that's where it gets tough. I mean, like there's so
Because
many.
you have Christian Gonzalez there. Like, not the quarterback room isn't like horrid, but for like value, like, do you take like a guy like a Troy Franklin? Like, I don't love Troy Franklin.
See, I feel like I'm gonna say this. I would actually go very interesting. I don't
Keon
like.
Coleman.
There's no, I not even, bro. The route I'm gonna the route. And this thing is, I'm double checking just one thing on their depth chart real quick before I even say this because I want to check one
What's
thing.
their corner depth?
I'm gonna say this though. That's so. Assuming Christian Gonzalez is back, you're gonna have Gonzo at X. You're gonna have Jonathan Jones at Y, and then in the slot we are going to have Marcus Jones.
Yeah. So not awful, but could use some help.
See, and this is the thing. For what I'm gonna sound crazy. What
Okay.
I think that what I might do though, truly, if I was the Patriots right here, because again, this is one of those guys where I think I'm higher on him than the general populace right now, and I think he actually has a chance to be a very, very good pro that surprises a lot of people long term. Where you're kind of like, oh my god, he's a 10 plus sacks a guy season like out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, but I think the Patriots might not be tripping to take Chris Braswell off the board and kind of just completely revamp your edge room, knowing Judon's getting older, let him get kind of rotate
Interesting.
with Judon this year. That's personally, I think that would be the route I would go. But again, I'm just higher on Chris Braswell than a lot of people.
It's not a bad pick. I don't hate it.
He's got that small, like get in your pads, lift you up. And that's what he's that very unique Brandon
He
Graham
does.
mold
He
where
does kind
he's
of
a
remind me of a Patriots player.
absolute mismatch for any tackle he goes against that's over 6'5", because he just gets into you where you're so long and he's so stout, I guess the way to put it, that it's like he's once he gets in your frame, like Chris Braswell is going to be able to move you no matter how big you are. That's what I love about him. That's what makes him so unique. He's kind of like my this year's Brandon Graham. I do think he would fit very well in that Patriots defense, but let me know what you're thinking. Let me know
Do
what
me
you're
a
thinking.
favor. Do me a favor. Read me the Patriots wide receiver depth. It's
Of
Juju
course.
Smith-Schuster and like Kendrick Bourne, right?
That's that's the problem. The best receiver in this I'm not saying this disrespectfully. I'm saying it based off the fact he had a great rookie season. The best receiver on this team is Demario Douglas
It's just
by
such a
far.
bad receiver room. But it's like you don't have the rookie quarterback yet. Or do you go get Bo Nix right now?
See, that I'm gonna be honest.
Do
I
you
think
go get Bo
in
Nix?
terms of value, I think that taking Bo Nix right here, and even if you say to yourself, we're just gonna sit him behind Jacoby Brissett, I think you might be getting home run value potentially.
The only issue with taking him here is you only have 4 years on that rookie deal.
That is true. But at the same time, like we said, we know the Patriots aren't winning now, so it's like you're gonna have to sit
That's
most likely who
facts.
you take regardless. Like
And
whether you
it's
take Knicks,
like
Penix, whoever you want
okay,
to go with, I think you're gonna have to sit them. So it's like
realistically, if you're going to take a quarterback next year, if you're taking a quarterback next year, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's too early to put the quarterback in the mix. I think it's too early. I think it's too early.
it could be a little too early because Bo Nix is just going to be so polarizing. Teams, like the more that I watch Oregon's offense, I am higher than lower on him. But at the same time, I still do just view him as like mid, early second round grade. So it's
Yeah.
like you're not like tweaking on. It's like no, we're not tweaking on passing on him here.
I think I'm going to go. He's kind of a Patriots player, Roman Wilson. I think I'm going to go Roman
Okay, I
Wilson.
love that though, bro. I love that. And again, we know just we talk about football players. There's a lot of them coming out of Michigan.
Yeah.
Like Chuck, just fucking football player, man. Like this guy's gonna show up every snap, give it his all. He doesn't care. Is he hurting? He's coming out here to play
Patriots
football.
way,
Yeah,
Patriot way.
Patriot way football, no lie.
35 to the Arizona Cardinals. I think you're able to get your guy.
Yeah, wait. So hold on. Let me just. I just want to. So I took center early, and then okay. I just wanted to. So we went center and receiver. And then, yeah, you're spot on, bro. I'm able to get my guy right here because, yeah, no, we're not thinking about it. I'm taking Chris Braswell off the board. I was just talking about him. We're getting a guy where I get again I'm so high on him. I think again, whether you're rotating him this year and then long term, him and BJ Ojulari could genuinely be a very dynamic kind of. They play off each other very well. That's a very kind of interesting edge duo you have going on there,
Right.
and I love that over there in Arizona. Two smaller, but just get up in you and just move you edge rushers. Like I think I love this for the Cardinals.
So we have the Washington Commanders on the board here at 36. They took Jane Daniels. I honestly think they could use another um, wide receiver to pair with Terry McLaurin, and they have another pick at 40. So we don't have to, we can kind of get the guy we want without worrying about losing out on a guy.
Now you just got to take best player that you're thinking.
I mean, am I going to sound crazy for saying that we should take Keon Coleman here?
See, that's not at all what I thought you were going to
Because
say, but
think
it's
about it.
definitely
Think about
not
it.
crazy.
You're getting your rookie QB, okay? And you're getting your rookie QB a big weapon that he had in Brian Thomas Jr. So you're replacing, and obviously Keon Coleman, Brian Thomas Jr. are not the same player. You already have Terry McLaurin. Jahan Dotson did not have the year that you expected him to have last year. Do you want him going into an offense with, I mean, Austin Eckler's fine. He's getting a little bit older. Do you want him to go into an offense with Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz as his number one options? Now,
Like it's that's actually scary.
I just think out of pure size, I think having a guy like a Keon Coleman can do good things for the quarterback in Jane Daniels. So I'm going to go Keon Coleman here at 36.
I
30,
love the pick, bro.
37 to the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right, let me think here. Let me cook, bro. Let me
So
cook before I have my water.
we took Malik Neighbors at number 5 here. So what do they want to do?
Oh man. Give me a second here. I gotta, the later we get into these mock, I gotta start thinking. I gotta take a look at some depth charts every once in a
That's
while.
what
I
I
gotta,
start doing. I start trying to see what we do because I'm already
man.
planning for my next pick.
I think this is just rough, bro. Because it's like there's so many directions we could go right here. I think though, you know what? Purely on the value on the board, a guy I'm still very high on, who again, I say this every time, I think I'm a little bit higher than maybe the consensus right now. He's kind of falling down boards. I still think he could very easily go first round. And he's sitting right here for us in the second round. We desperately need a cornerback. Let me get Kool-Aid McKinstry right
I
here,
like
bro.
that. I like that
Versatile
pick.
guy, play him in any type of scheme. You gotta love the value you're getting right there at 37.
So we're sitting here at 38 with the Titans. They have taken Joe Alt in the first round. So I guess my thing is, they have Alt and then you know, they have Cushenberry, they have Skronsky. If they have, let's look at their other right tackle, Dylan Rendunes. I don't know. He is younger. He was your second round pick in 2021. So I don't know if he's been amazing.
No,
I don't.
that never really panned out, especially for second round value.
So I'm thinking if I don't know. I don't know what you do here. You could add a receiver here because Traylon Burks has kind of not been that guy. D Hop is kind of going to be gone after this year. You could add a guy like a Troy Franklin or a guy that I kind of like.
I think we're thinking the same thing on this one.
Are you thinking Slick Rick?
See, no, I wasn't thinking Slick Rick, but I fucking love it. You know that I love if we took Slick Rick off the board right here.
I think Troy Franklin could also be a good addition here.
But
I'm thinking more of a smaller
Slick
guy.
Rick.
I'm thinking sort of a smaller guy that is just a little bit more like he's not completely the same as Calvin Ridley. I also like the idea of like a Jalen Polk as well if it was a little bit later in the draft. And I also was possibly thinking about the idea of going like I do like the idea of getting a Tyler Guyton.
I was gonna say what me personally, I'd take my swing on Tyler Guyton and say, you know what, whether I'm just gonna even you might even just
You
sit
can
this
sit him
year.
this year. Sit him
Bro, I
this
would say
year.
you can
Sit him
sit him
this
this
year.
year and just develop him. I think all of a
To leave
sudden,
with Alt and Guyton,
yeah, like
your
all of a
line is
sudden,
revitalized.
all of a sudden, bro, like I feel like that's the direction I would personally go. But it is definitely more of a risk involved in going that route.
I'm gonna go Guyton because I mean, like we've seen with this Titans rebuild, like they're willing to take swings. So
No, I
maybe
love it,
they
dude.
think
That's
Guyton and Alt can be their bookend tackles.
no, yeah, and that's the thing is it can't get it literally almost cannot get any worse than Petty Freer was last year. That so it's like if it's another rough year, you know what? At least it was a year where Amarius wasn't the one, or not Amarius, where Tyler wasn't the one out there
Yeah.
struggling, and then we can bring him in after he develops. I feel like it's not the end of the world, and I
And if
love
he's
the
gonna
value
learn
right there.
behind Alt,
Or
not
and if he
bad.
comes in and he surprises you at camp and he's already way better, he's put in a lot of work this offseason,
You have
and you
massive
can just start
tackles.
him right
Yeah.
away, yeah, all of a sudden we're in a fantastic situation.
All right, now we're at pick 39 with the Carolina Panthers. They took Lad
Oh
McConkey
man.
earlier.
Yeah, we took Lad. So where do we go here, bro?
They've beefed up the interior of their D line. They traded Brian Burns. They got two guards. They have Icky. Hopefully he pans out. They traded Dante Jackson, not to say he was moving any needles. So I have an idea in mind of where I would go here. And I also think you could go another, like, it depends. Do you want to replenish the defense or do you want to give Bryce Young as much as he can to succeed?
This is so tough. This really is tough.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's good value on the board right here.
No, there's so much good, and I could go so many directions with the Panthers. But you know what? I'm gonna do this. I think what we're gonna say for the Panthers is like, dude, we're one of those teams where again we got to hit home run. Like we're
Yeah.
in such a bad spot that it's like we got to get one of those guys where he comes in and just completely outperforms his draft position. And the guy that I'm seeing on the board right here that I think has the highest chance of doing that. Let me get Braden Fisk
Okay.
on this D line, rotating out an dead interior. We need interior pass rushers regardless. The line is definitely we're bolstering it a little bit over this last year, but it's definitely not where we want it to be. And you know me in my trenches, bro. After that combine, Braden Fisk, he could come out here and surprise a lot of people that rookie year. I think again, just best ceiling available. We're gonna go with Braden Fisk right here for the Panthers.
So now we're back on the clock with the Washington Commanders. They took Keon Coleman, and this was actually where I was trying to target Tyler Guyton. I think Tyler Guyton could have been a good addition for the Commanders. Unfortunately, he didn't make it here for us. Um the Commanders, they have their wide receiver room probably set. They're not going to take a tight end. They don't they don't really have edge rushers. I mean, they traded, Chase Young and Montez Sweat. And I think Darius Robinson could be a good addition for them. They do have they have an early third round pick, so they could go and grab another edge rusher. And I do just if you look at the Commanders depth chart for their corner room, it's it's not good. It's
Yeah,
not good.
no.
So I think TJ Tampa could be a really good addition for them, him or Kamari Lassiter. But I just love the length of TJ Tampa. I mean, TJ Tampa is 6'2", 200 pounds.
Yeah, he wins the ceiling battle, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go opposite of Emmanuel Forbes, TJ Tampa is your guy here at 40.
Yeah, so that's is that who we're taking?
Yeah, TJ Tampa.
I love
So
TJ Tampa right here.
now we're at 41 with the Packers.
All right. Do myself a favor again, pulling up that Packers depth chart
Uh,
here
uh,
because
so
there's so
we
many,
had
again,
them
back to
go Tyler Newman at first.
there's so many directions still that we could go, bro. Like there
I
seriously is
mean,
still so many directions we could go.
they need interior offensive line, but we also have another second round pick 58, where they can address it because most of those interior offensive linemen are probably like mid second to third round guys. So it's like you don't have to reach at this position. And I see a guy staring me in the face that I think would be a great addition for the Packers.
Oh no, I do too. I think we're thinking the same guy. I think we're thinking the same guy, right?
I don't know. Been thinking the same guy multiple times,
I
and we've
think we're
been
thinking
wrong.
two. I think that there's two guys that I know it. I know it's between two guys.
Offense or defense?
Defense,
Okay, yeah.
because this one, bro, I could go. It's so fun. This one is so tough.
Wait, secondary or front seven? Oh
That's
no.
between. I'm struggling between.
No, no, no.
I'm
I know who it
struggling.
is.
Oh my goodness.
They have to replace Campbell though. So
You know,
I get what you're saying.
oh man, bro. You know what? Back to just theme of the day. Fucking football players, man. Fucking football players. I'm not overthinking it. We need another corner desperately. Give me
Oh,
Kamari Lassiter right here to
okay,
the
good.
Packers.
I thought you were gonna take Peyton Wilson. I was
That's
scared.
I was debating, but nah, Kamari Lassiter. I'm back on my football players. I'm very confident Kamari's gonna come in at very high floor.
So
Let me get him to the Packers.
so I did this earlier and I honestly love it so much and I'm going to do it again. So the Texans have 2 second round picks and I don't know if this guy makes it to the second pick and they loaded up on corners in free agency. Not amazing ones, but they definitely filled their room. Bro, if I'm the Houston Texans and Tavondre Sweat is sitting here at 42, that's such an easy pick to me. Like it is
No,
so simple.
bro, talk this the like probably like the most underrated player in this whole process, in my opinion. I mean, genuinely, like the more I watch the Texas D line with Byron Murphy, I'll just be looking over at Devondre and I'm like, my God, he's pushing back two full grown men. Like I don't know. Apparently, not enough
Pairing
people
him with Will
appreciate.
Anderson and Daniil Hunter. And like my thing is, I get 42 maybe a little bit of a reach for him. But when you have that second round pick, that allows you to reach. Like,
Bro,
sure, like basically you're just flipping where you'd get them.
I don't think it's a reach though. It's the
I
thing. It's
don't
like
either.
look, if we're
I
because
don't
this the
either.
reason he's fallen is like, okay, if you ask anybody and you read any scouting report, it's like as you watch him yourself, you think to yourself. But regardless, it's like, well, around that late third quarter, fourth quarter, yeah, he's gassed and he's not
Tired,
playing
yeah.
at that same conditioning. But like that's the whole point from taking him from a college conditioning group. And now we're taking him to, again, no disrespect, but there's just a genuine difference between the coaching staff you get conditioning in college and then who you're going to have conditioning you in the NFL. It's the inherent difference. It's the millions of dollars you're getting paid extra in the NFL. He's going to be around better conditioning, better people getting him in that shape. I think that we're not going to see that be much of an issue anymore. I think Devondre Sweat will be a four-quarter player. You'll rotate him perhaps a little bit more. But it doesn't really matter. You're getting such fantastic value right here, bro. I love him right here at pick 42.
All right. And number 43 to the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, righty. This one, well, let me
We did
just
go
take a look
Dallas
here.
Turner earlier.
Yeah, so we took Dallas off the board.
It's just
You know,
they're an interesting team here.
they really are.
Oh my God. They would be nuts if they added this guy, but I want to see where you're leaning. If you're leaning off, I know they definitely need more like defense than offense. But you're telling me Jermaine Burton in that wide receiver room wouldn't make them one of the best receiving
Oh
cores in
no,
the
they would be
NFL?
absolutely cooking. Man. You know what? This is going to be a shock everyone picked, but I don't care. We're doing it. We're taking him. This is a risk pick. But you know what? You're the Falcons are already in a good situation. Again, we're taking a bit of a risk on the medical history. But post combine, post everything else, we're feeling really high about him if he can just stay healthy. We really need another linebacker. We're taking Peyton Wilson off the board right here,
Okay,
bro.
okay, okay.
I
Yeah,
feel like I don't want to let him fall any farther. I think that the Falcons is a good spot.
I feel you. At number 44, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. I feel like you have to take a quarterback with this pick, no? Like, if Bo Nix or Michael Penix fall to you, like, how do you not take one of them?
Yeah, no, I'm with you 1,000%. I think
What
QB for sure right here.
Let me ask you this question. If you are the Raiders on the clock here, what quarterback are you taking? Because I have personally been leaning Penix for the Raiders.
No, for the Raiders, I do think I would lean Penix.
I just think he I don't know. It just feels like it makes more sense.
No, it definitely does. It's just with this receiving core, I just feel like I'm personally feeling Penix more to the Raiders.
All right, let's go Penix to the Raiders at 45 to the Saints.
Hey, all right, I picked 45 to the Saints. What are we doing here, bro?
We
So
already
my
did
squad,
Talisa Fuaga.
yeah, my squad fell to me. Let me think what I want to do
Oh,
for
I
my
know where I'd go.
think what I want to do for my squad here, bro.
It's so crazy because it feels like the Saints never need a receiver while also always needing a wide receiver.
Yeah, no, they're in a weird spot. They're in a weird spot. We always these past few years have just been in a weird spot. You know what though? Here's what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do right here? No, hold on. Let me think, bro.
I mean,
Ah,
oh no, I think I
like,
know who you're thinking. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Is he a wide receiver?
no, no, not
Oh, okay,
receiver.
okay.
That would
I
be
was gonna
that
say
would be hilarious.
Slick Rick to the
No,
fucking
that
New Orleans Saints.
that would be hilarious. Oh man, bro.
Well, I mean, we went offense first pick. Do you think they need like defensive trenches? I mean, Chase Young's on a 1 year deal. Cam Jordan's getting
No,
older.
you know what? Let me get one of my guys. Let me get one of my guys over here to the Saints, bro. I'm bringing Darius Robinson to New Orleans.
That's who I was thinking.
Like versatile, whether we want to play him at edge and that Cam Jordan mold, let him kind of, learn behind Cam, that big edge, how it'll translate. And if not, I think again, I project him more to the interior regardless. But if we could play him on the edge with that length, I would love it. And behind Cam is probably the best spot he could come in and really learn in the same mold. I love him right here to the Saints.
At number 46, we have the Indianapolis Colts on the clock. I think at this point, because we took a corner round one, I think they're probably going to go wide receiver here. And do I go? I really like Jermaine Burton. I do. I think it is possible that they could get his kind of shit under control. And I think he'd be a great addition for the Indianapolis Colts. I also think Troy Franklin could work. I believe Jermaine Burton, 6 foot 194. Troy Franklin, 6'3", 187. So I don't know. I think out of value, you probably go Franklin here and pair him with Josh Downs and Michael Pittman Jr.
Okay. All right, so we're going Troy Franklin.
Yep.
All right, I'm happy with that. I like that pick. I think that's definitely fantastic value right there for the Colts.
47 with the New York Giants. We had them taking JJ McCarthy with their first pick.
So, man, bro. Oh, man. So many routes I could go right here.
They
And
need, yeah,
they just need so much. And like, you know,
they're in a tough spot.
my head is telling me Christian Haynes, but my gut's telling me something else.
Well, I think so. The thing with the Giants though is they did kind of rebuild their O line completely. Um, so they have John
I,
Runyon at right guard. And they have, I believe they're probably going to kick Evan Neal on the inside because they signed Jermaine Eleanor from the Raiders, and they have Michael Schmitz at center, and then they have Andrew Thomas at tackle. So they have like a starting offensive line.
no, they do. It's just, I guess the thing is, yeah, we're just gonna have to see how the O line thing goes. Like,
Yeah.
this is my thing. Personally, I'm not too confident in the way that I think more of the guys that they add in anything are just kind of depth. But like, at least it holds you over for this year. Yeah, you know what? JJ's got to have his guy, and there's
Oh
just
man.
there's none other. Then Slick Rick.
That is I like that. It's just the thing with I like Slick Rick a lot. The most confusing wide receiver room to me in the NFL is probably the Giants. I've never
No, it
understood it over the last couple years.
but at least now we take where we got Hyatt as our burner. We got somewhat of an identity. We got Ricky as just our possession guy, right? It's like at least we're starting to kind of form an identity of the group.
At number 48 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh boy. Um, we had them going Jared Verse in the first round. Now, you know, they do need DB, and I feel like Ennis Rakestraw just sitting here is kind of like an easy pick because they have Tyson Campbell and they already took wait, who we had him taking Jared Verse. So
Yeah.
we could also go like defensive interior here with like a Chris Jenkins, I don't think would be a bad pick to beef up that defensive interior. But I feel like wide receiver is kind of a need as well. It's just such a crowded room that it's hard to fit somebody in. I think I'm going to go Ennis Rakestraw, though. I think corner is definitely a more pressing need at this point.
No, I love Ennis right here. And again, back to the whole thing of just like I think he's going to play much better than he tested. He's going to be one of those rare examples where like the RAS just doesn't really matter on him. I think he's
Right.
going to translate just fine.
49 to the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, bro. I definitely got myself an interesting one here because I just want a reminder. Remind me, who did we go with? Oh, so we went Drazon Newton earlier. Okay. All right. Let me think here because this is one of those ones where again, I could go home run or I could just go play it safe and get good value. And that's what I really want to see. Like, I got to figure out which direction I'm going to go here for the Bengals. This is tough.
Yeah, I think they are in an interesting spot. Just because there's so much stuff they can do. And in my opinion, the Bengals are already like they obviously need pieces, but more of a complete team where it's kind of like a wherever they want, like best person they can take. Do
You know
you
what? You know
go
what?
ahead?
He's been one of my guys, bro. It's but at the same time, when I think about it, it's like you just signed two of them, if I'm not mistaken, in free agency, where it's like I don't think you'd be reaching on your starter right here in the second round. Like I'd love to go Jatavion Sanders to the
Yeah.
Bengals, but at the same time, it's like
Let
I
me
don't know if competing right now the way they are, that's what they're going to value.
Can I pitch you something?
Yeah, I want to hear the. I want to hear. Of course, I want to hear the pitch.
Orlando Brown Jr. is going to be there. Trent Brown is on a 1 year deal. Kingsley Sumatia could be a good option for them.
Oh, he definitely could. He definitely could. That's the thing to me though, is it's where it's like if Trent Brown plays good, I'm gonna assume you're gonna extend him. So it's
Yeah.
like it's more of a
Another
prove
player
it.
you could
But
look
even though
at,
That's why it's weird because Trent Brown already was a really good tackle. I don't really know why he's on a prove it deal personally. I know it's probably just more injury history than anything, but like
another player you could look at is Jonah Ellis from Utah.
no, that was definitely on the radar because again, not that Sam Hubbard is solid, but he's not.
Right.
You can kind of turn him to depth or turn him to rotational and not feel like you're sliding him or sliding the team. They really need corner help, but I'm not feeling the value with the corners on the board right now.
Yeah, once you take Ennis Rakestraw off the board, there's kind of a drop off. I really like Max Melton, but he's more of like an early third round guy.
You know what? Let's go Kingsley. I'm gonna do this. In case someone gets injured this year, we have depth. And if Trent doesn't come back, we have our future starter.
That's
I
kind of
think
my
given the
yeah.
value right now, it's just that's got to be best case scenario, right? Or even better, if Kingsley really develops behind Trent and you don't want to pay Trent and you don't have to pay him, even better case scenario.
Yeah. At number 50 for the Eagles. Okay. If he was going to go anywhere that can control character issues, Jermaine Burton as wide receiver 3 for the
Yo.
Philadelphia Eagles. And I have another pick that I will pitch to you at 53 because they have another pick coming up. So now we have 51 to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, bro. To the Steelers. Let's think what we're gonna do here.
They took, who do we have them taking round one? We had them taking JC Latham. So they have their tackles now. I would say you do what you want, but I think Russ is going to need a little bit of help.
No, I definitely think Russ is going to need some help. And let's take a look here. Who's the guy that's going to be helping Russ, right?
Yeah.
No,
I have a guy in mind.
yeah. Oh, I got a guy in mind too.
I think they may be different guys, but I think either would work well.
You know who I think would just Russ Moonball.
Oh
Hear me out.
no.
We're bringing back the Moonball. Xavier Worthy. You are a
So
Pittsburgh Steeler.
a reason why I like that, I was going to go Jalen Polk because I think Polk is going to be a good player. The reason I like Worthy though is let's say after this year they move on from Russ and want to run with Justin. As much as the deficiencies that Justin has in his passing game, his deep ball is probably one of the best in the NFL. So if you just send Worthy on a go route and tell Justin just bomb it, that is a good connection.
Oh, I think I love this right here. I love this value.
So
It's either
at
Justin Moonball or Russ Moonball.
Justin Moonball at number 52 to the Los Angeles Rams, we have another pick. Well, we wait. They have two third round picks. I do like the idea of adding to the receiver room. But I also think with going Olu Fashanu, we gotta add something to that defensive line. And I think Chris Jenkins could be a really good addition for them. To beef up that interior on the
I
defense.
love that. I love if that's the direction we're going.
Yeah, because I mean they're gonna need help there. And you all went offensive trenches round one, and they definitely, addressed offensive trenches in free agency, signing two guards. So at number 53, we have the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock. Now, let me give you my thought process. You don't have to go with it. My thought process is the linebacker position is still kind of weak, and Edgerrin Cooper is on the clock here, available for them that you can add, and you added like a very, very good wide receiver three. But obviously, you could add we did add like Cooper Jean in the first round, safety, cornerback. But I'm interested to see what you have on the pick. I just want to give you
Oh
my
no.
thinking for taking.
No. We were thinking same on this one, bro. I
Okay.
think Edgerrin Cooper is not falling any further. We are very comfortable taking him off the board right here. Tape and the combine. We're very confident we're going to have a productive pro. Edgerrin Cooper, you are a Philadelphia Eagle.
At number 54, we have the Cleveland Browns. Now, what I like about the Browns is I like what they did in free agency. They didn't do much. I don't like the Jerry Judy extension at
Yeah,
all.
no.
Um, and I guess my thing is they could use wide receiver help still, but it's kind of like a muddied room, where it's like a late second round pick is going to get kind of caught in the middle. Um, if I take a look at their depth chart here, let's take a look. Um, their defensive their defensive line is so weird, right? Like you feel like it's super deep at interior defensive tackle, right? And then
No, yeah.
it's also kind of deep at end. You have Devin Bush, you have Jordan Hicks, you have JOK. You don't really need like a ton of secondary help here right now, maybe in the third round. And if you look at their wide receiver room, Jerry Judy, Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, it's not bad. They have Tillman, they have Bell. Those are draft picks. So it shouldn't take you out of the running for wide receiver, but I don't know if that's what you want to do. So it's just like this is kind of like what do you want to do? Is Alex Wright a good, you know, backup to Zarius Smith? Like, do you want to get? I don't know, Dobbs. What would you do with this pick? I'm very up in the air. I think
I'm gonna
defensive line is there, but
I think what I would do personally, bro, is I would take Rook Ahorahoro, rotate, potential long-term starter once that these a bit older veteran guys' contracts are up.
he is kind of a Brown. That is just seems
Like
like a Brown.
I think that you're getting a really high ceiling where, and again, you don't have to like implement him right away.
Let's go. Let's do with that. I think it just adds more to the rotation. 55 to the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh, wee, bro. I think I know what I'm gonna do with this pick. I'm just gonna double check one thing.
Okay. I'm taking a look at. Oh,
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing with this pick. I'm not even gonna think twice about it. And I'm about to sneeze.
we
I'm
had
gonna
them
get off before
taking.
I sneeze. They're taking Christian Haynes, guard out of UConn. Desperately need to fill that. I think Christian Haynes has a chance to be a great pro.
So
Give me Christian Haynes right here.
they went Christian Haynes. They went Graham Barton first round, Christian Haynes second round. They have fixed that interior quite a bit.
That is, we need to protect Tua. We need to protect Tua.
All right, Christian Haynes off the board. At number 56, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I have them taking Jonathan Brooks here typically. Um, but if I want to look at the wide receivers, I do think like Jalen Polk could be a good addition. Javon Baker, Xavier Legette. I don't really love their wide receiver room, obviously outside of CD Lamb. Let's see. CD Lamb, Brandon Cooks, he's getting older. Tolbert, I don't know. Their running back room is really bad though. It's really bad. Like Rico Dualde and Rico
It's rough.
Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn. And I don't know, like I think they could probably get a running back in the third round though. I think there's probably better value here on the board. And they lost Leighton Vander Esch as well. So they have Eric Kendricks, Damian Clark, and DeMarvion Overshone, who's not been bad for them.
No, definitely not.
But their interior of their offensive line is or defensive line. I don't know, dude. The Cowboys are low-key a mess.
No, they definitely are.
So with wide receiver, I think the value here is kind of in wide receiver. And I think I'm going to add Jalen Polk from Washington.
I love the value right there. And like I said, Jalen Polk's one of those guys where like the value has fallen just because he was surrounded by two other very good potential, like that I do believe will be very good future pros. But Jalen Polk, man, sneaky, sneaky. He could be very productive in the NFL.
57 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right, bro. Let's think what we're gonna do here.
I mean,
Man.
we went Chop Robinson in the first round.
Okay, so we took Chop. And I mean, other than that, I feel like we're kind of happy with the defense right now. Like we're not gonna worry too much about the defense. I feel like we kind of got to go offense on this one. Question is just kind of like what direction are we gonna go on the offense? I
Yeah,
don't feel like we're reaching.
Rashad White kind of showed out. They have Mike Evans, they have Chris Godwin, they have Trey Palmer. Um, you know, I do think, I mean, they brought their secondary isn't the worst in the world.
You know what? I think you know what would really help this team. We're truly if we look at last year, I think even like if they had him last year, it would have helped out, and he's gonna help a lot. I think the direction I'm gonna go on this one, bro. We know the Bucks are definitely one of those teams that really need a starting tight end.
Mm-hmm.
They have really not no disrespect to Kate Otten, but he just hasn't been the needle pusher that they need. I think now we're not feeling like we're reaching. We're feeling like we're getting good value. I'm very comfortable saying, let's take Jatavion Sanders off the board right here and give Baker one of his safety plugs.
I like that. I like that play a lot. 58 to the Green Bay Packers. They have a lot of picks, but they also have quite a jump from 58 to 38. That's 30 picks. And I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, this is where the Broncos trade up.
Is it?
I mean, we give them 76, they give us 58. And we could also give them like what, around 3 next year? That makes sense?
Okay, I think it
It'd be
definitely makes
moving
sense.
up, well, you'd be moving up 28 picks. Well,
Okay,
no, so you might have to give up around 2 next year.
wait, give me the compensation just one more time, just so I can make sure I do
So
the same on mine. So
we'd
we're
get
gonna
50,
go.
we'd get 58, they'd get 76, maybe like around 4 next year, and like maybe like 136 or 145.
I think 136 would be good.
All right, let's force that trade through then.
All right, force it through.
So now the Broncos are on the clock. Bo Nix is their pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't. I knew we weren't gonna think twice about that one. That
He
makes plenty of
just
sense.
I don't know if he'd make it to them in the third round. There might be a team that just be like, oh, let's take a chance on him. I don't even know if he lasts this far. I was just trying to find like a good in route for them to get into the second round.
No, yeah, I would not. Again, I think Bo Nix will probably go before this, but again, if he doesn't, and this is how things go, I think this would be right around the time, like we're saying, where somebody's going to trade up, and it probably will be the Broncos in this case.
Well, it's also like once you make it past the Raiders, you're not really like in too much concern.
No, that is very true.
At number 59 to the Houston Texans.
All right, what direction do we want to go here, bro?
They took Tavondre Sweat round one. I mean, I don't think a wide receiver would be a bad addition to their team.
No, definitely not. But at the same time, I feel like I'm just trying to think what direction I want to go here.
They have Joe Mixon. They have Dalton Schultz now. They added a lot to their defense. There's a lot of things you could do with them. It's weird because the Texans are still really young and need to build a lot, but they're also like I want to say a like fairly complete team for the stage in the rebuild that they're at.
No, yeah, it's tough, bro. I think, man, man. You know what? Switch it up a little bit. We're the Texans. We desperately need. Let me make sure there's one. Yeah, no, I'm comfortable with this. This is what I want to do. We would desperately need a linebacker. Junior Colson is still sitting here for us. I think just in terms of value, we have got to take a linebacker right here. I think we're most confident in Junior Colson long term. I'm comfortable taking him right here at pick 59.
I like the pick. I mean, they lost Cashman. They signed
I'm
Alzai
shocked
Shahir.
about. I'm shocked that they let go of Cashman.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely do need that depth, so Colson will be a good pick for them. The Buffalo Bills are on the clock. They took Brian Thomas Jr. Number one. I think honestly they do need edge help. So I think I'm gonna go Jonah Ellis out of Utah here.
Oh, I love that right there. That would be a great landing spot to the Bills.
61 to the Detroit Lions.
All right. Think
I
what I want
mean,
to do here, bro.
they went corner first round. Um, they do still need some edge help. Um, I don't think wide receiver is completely off the board. If you look at interior line, they do need a little bit of help. Frank Ragnow's getting older. They lost Jonah Jackson. So there's a lot of ways we can go with this.
No, there definitely are a lot of ways we could go about this.
The nice thing
Oh
also is they
man.
have a pick at 73 because of the TJ Hawkinson trade.
This is it's tough, bro. This one really is tough.
If we look at their
Hmm.
depth chart, um, let's take a look here.
You know what? I know who I'm gonna go. I know what I'm gonna do.
Where are we going?
We're going to Disa Isaac right here.
Give a little more depth to that D line.
Depth to the D line. He's gonna need to beef up to play in this scheme, but I'm fine with that. I think again, we still have a very high ceiling on him. I don't think Davenport is the guy, and if anything, even if he is, he doesn't ever usually stay healthy for the full season. He's at least the depth that we're going to need, and he potentially could be a starter on this D line. I'm comfortable taking Adisa right here off the board.
So I am looking at this wide receiver room, and I think they do need some more help. Um, and they don't have I think they could probably get another interior offensive lineman um in round three. I also like the idea of adding an edge here. Or you could add Kieran Amagaji to play tackle for you. That's not a bad option as well. But
Definitely
we
not a bad
we
option.
did go Jordan Morgan. Well, actually, we did go Jordan Morgan round one. So pair him with Ronnie Staley and Ronnie Stanley. Stanley, right? Stanley, Staley.
Yeah.
I think wide receiver or edge is kind of like the position here. So Marshawn Nealon's there, but I think with the wide receivers on the board, I don't know, you're gonna get probably into that third tier once you get into the third round. And I think passing up on a guy like Xavier Legette or like a Javon Baker would be tough. I really like Baker. I think Legette still has some things to learn. Um, and I think, or I honestly think Baker in that offense would be very good. I think my thing with Leggett is um I'm trying to think. Am I thinking of No, I'm thinking of Malachi Corley. I think Malachi Corley actually started out as a running back, right? Yeah, he
Yeah,
was a
and I was,
running back. Yeah.
but Leggett also to your point has switched positions plenty of times also where he came in, it was like even different. He's also one of those guys where he never really like he never even found a home until later into his career anyway, too. So he's in that same mold where it's like it's harder to judge him as a receiver because he hasn't played it for very long.
At the same time, though, I think he gives like a lot of versatility to that Ravens offense and is a little bit different than what they already have. So, like, I see, Leggett, like he's a big dude. Like he's ripped. So it's like 6'3", 227. They don't really have that big body wide receiver. So I think that's
No,
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give Xavier
I
Leggett to the
love
Baltimore Ravens.
I love that landing spot, bro. I love that landing spot.
63 to the San Francisco 49ers.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to spoil it because I don't have to think about this one a lot at all. This is actually one of those ones came to me right away, especially when you look at the depth chart. We're going to go O line. We're going to go a guy that's going to sit for a year, whether it's for Trent, whether it's for Colton McKivitz. We're getting and if we need to plug him for first year and someone gets injured, we're confident in this. We're taking Kieran Amagaji off the board right here, and we're definitely happy with that ceiling.
Very good pick for them. Last pick of the mock, 64 to the Kansas City Chiefs. We had them going Nate Wiggins round one. So, what are we going to do here?
This is definitely this one is whether you could go a lot of directions with this one.
I think if we look at their depth chart,
I
it's
do. I think I might know what direction I'm going to go right off the bat, but I won't spoil. I want to see what you're thinking.
where did we go? We went Nate Wiggins. Hmm. I mean,
You have a lot of options. Like,
right. I mean, I think, going D line is not the worst option. Marshawn Nealon is not a horrible pick. You could also go like Braylon Trice available here. You could go edge. I do like the idea though. Because you don't need interior O line. That's the thing. You don't need interior. Tackle's kind of like where you're laying. And Blake Fisher is not a bad pick here.
no, definitely not. Definitely not a bad pick right here.
But I think I'm gonna go. I like the idea of Javon Baker to the Chiefs. Or any of the receivers, I guess. Another guy that I think doesn't get taken a lot, and I don't think they have this type of receiver. He didn't test great, but like, is Johnny Wilson a horrible pick for the Chiefs?
No, not definitely not a bad pick. Like, that's sneaky though. Like,
That's what
I
I'm
think.
saying. Like, it gives them some height, it gives them some length. Like, none of the guys on the Chiefs are really big
Well,
receivers.
say if anything, he's just like a Justin Watson. He'll just be Justin Watson's replacement. Like, it's just a bigger version of Justin Watson. Like,
6'7", 237. I think I'm gonna lock in Johnny Wilson to the Chiefs. Maybe a
I
little bit
love it,
early, but
bro. No, I love it, dude. If there's a spot that he's gonna go early, I think this is the spot. So.
so this has been Mock Draft Madness Day 24, special 2-round mock. This is also You Don't Know Ball Mock 5.0. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't know ball, want to know ball, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, let us know in the comments your favorite, least favorite mock pick from this mock draft. And thank you guys for watching. We hope you have a great rest of your day.